Hi, Brett Klika here, Fitness Quest 10, Director of Athletics. I'm here with my main man, Daniel Camarena. He's one of our athletes that's been with us for 5 years. And when we first got Daniel here, obviously he was a beginner athlete. And what we're going to talk about today is using the weight room for strength. And what I see a lot of the time when I go to a weight room outside of here is I go to a weight room and there's a dad or a coach dragging a kid around the weight room, putting him on every machine, quote, teaching him the weight room. And the problem with teaching the weight room is before you go to the weight room, you have to realize what the weight room is there for. The weight room is there to help add load to movements. Remember, for athletes and for everybody, the weight room is designed to get stronger so you move better with a higher magnitude, a higher accuracy, or a higher adaptability when you're playing. So what we need to do, instead of teaching the weight room, we're going to teach real strength. Real strength often starts with body weight. If you can't do it with your body weight, I'm not interested in putting a bar on you or using weights or anything like that. So just a couple simple movements if you want to teach your young athlete about the weight room, about strength development. A couple things to start with. For one, we're going to start with the wall squat. Squatting and being able to use your legs is one of the more important things that you can do for sports, strengthening your legs, your hips, and everything like that. So I'm going to take Daniel, and this is how we taught Daniel to squat. Find a wall. There's a lot you can do using a wall. And first, we're going to go hands between the legs. He's going to get as close to the wall as he can. And notice everyone's going to be a little different. And he's going to go down till his hands touch the ground. If they can't touch the ground, then he's going to back up from the wall a little bit. So Daniel, let's go and go down. Try to touch the ground. Notice the wall is teaching him how to do it. It's a little tough because he's got little things coming out through the wall, but he's a good enough athlete. As he comes down and comes back up. So I'm going back up a little bit because he got these here. Have your child back up from the wall if they can't do it. If they can do it, put them up right up against the wall, because when they're right up against the wall is teaching him how to squat. Once he can do this, go ahead and hit about 5 of them. Once he can do this, and it's easy, let's say you can do 25 of these, once I put a bar in his back, it's no problem to teach him how to squat. But when I do put the bar in his back, it means that this is easy. I need something else to make him stronger. So as he gets 2 more, notice everything. The wall doesn't let him cheat. The walls make him keep his back flat. It's a very easy way to teach squat. Good job. Now, I'm not a huge Olympic lifting fan. I have a lot of experience with Olympic lifting, but I haven't found it's really done a whole lot for my athletes, quite frankly. A lot of people use it just out of convention, and when you really stop and look and see how long it takes to teach proper Olympic lifting, I'm not talking about these terrible disasters I see when I see coaches brag about their Olympic lifting. I mean real Olympic lifting. That's a sport unto itself. It takes forever and it takes a lot of coaching. So when you have big teams, to me it doesn't make sense to do it. It doesn't give you enough bang for your buck for the amount of time it takes. But if you're going to teach Olympic lifting, in order to Olympic lift, most of the lifts, we're going to do the same thing with the hands above your head. You need this amount of mobility in order to do most Olympic lifts correctly. So you see Daniel's going to go down. His hands are going to stay above his head as he does this. And go. Give me about 5 of them. This, by the way, is very difficult. Notice he's fallen back a little bit. If you're going to teach Olympic lifting, the clean and the snatch, and the clean and jerk, you're going to be able to have this mobility, particularly for the snatch. If you can't do this, you will not be able to snatch well or correctly, and it's going to lead to injury, as well as you're going to be wasting a lot of time. So for the coaches out there that like Olympic lifting, you should be able to do that before you do your Olympic lifting. Next, bench press. Everyone wants to get into the weight room to bench press. It's usually the first thing someone has in their garage is a big bench press competition. More high school athletes I see hurt their shoulders because they focus so much on bench press without strengthening the rest of the chain. So before you take your child or young athletes and put them on bench press, let's go down to a push-up position. They should be able to hold a push-up position for a couple different reasons. For one, you look at Stuart McGill's work on lower back. He talks about athletes should be able to hold a pelvic neutral, relatively flat back position for about 2 minutes in a plank before you move them on to anything else that requires lower back. So I want him to be able to hold this perfectly flat. Now notice his head is in front of his fingers. Let's go down and give me 5 push-ups. He comes down, everything stays flat. He comes all the way down. I have movement at the shoulder blades, head's in front of his fingers. That is the push-up that we need to do. Now go and rest for a second. So if you're having trouble teaching your athletes how to do a proper push-up, because quite frankly, the more young athletes I work with, people can't do push-ups anymore. It makes no sense for me to load them on a bench press if they can't do push-ups. So if they have problems, if I have problems teaching them, if they don't understand the positioning, put their feet up against the wall. So Daniel, go ahead and put your feet up against the wall, hands on the ground. Go and face me. Face me. Go down to a push-up position. Your feet are against the wall. Now what this does, the wall is going to teach him. So move your hands back a little bit. The wall is going to hold him in a perfect position. It's not going to let him cheat. Go and give me 5 push-ups again. So if you have that problem of your athletes drifting back and forth or sagging through here or any of that, this is a good cure for that. Good. Just give me 1 more. And hold it at the top. Notice I'm watching his shoulder blades and relax. Good. So once you get to the point where you do 20 or 30 of those, what does that tell you? What that tells me is if you can do 30 of those without excessive fatigue, he needs something else. That's when I start to look at other tools, because remember, the weight room is full of tools to get you stronger. But there's no reason to use a power drill to screw a little screw into the wall most of the time. You're going to get hurt. What would happen to your wall if you used a power drill to drive a little something to hang a picture? You're going to bust up your wall. You can do the same to your body. So last is a pull, an upper body pull. Most kids anymore, because they're way too much, they're not strong enough, can't do pull-ups. Pull-ups is probably one of the best exercises. Before I move them onto a piece of equipment where they really lose that chain and that feel of their body, I'm going to use the TRX. So we're going to go on inside. For the young athlete, the TRX is quite honestly one of the more valuable things I've found. It helps, especially with young athletes that can't use their body weight. It actually gives them some assistance. So TRX straps are right here. You can also do this with a bar off of a squat rack. Just hang the bar, hang yourself on the bar, pull yourself up. Just go around your back, Daniel. So if you can't do pull-ups, we need to be able to do something with your body weight that's going to help with the scapular strength, with lat strength, with the whole posterior, the whole backside. So with the TRX, what it does, it brings our body to a different angle. Just go pull yourself up. There you go, good. He's already done about 40 of these today, so he's a little tired. But you can see everything works through here. I'm strengthening. In addition to his back, I'm strengthening the whole backside right down here as well. Good, go, give me 1 more. And relax, come on up. Okay, so now we got a whole chain. We have the squat. We have the anterior chain from a push-up. Bench press the next step. Once he gets good at these, where he knows his whole body weight, I'm going to introduce other things going to help load that movement to make it more challenging. I'm going to use the tools in the weight room. Finally, we're going to get a split stance, a lunge. Most coaches move right into a lunge when young athletes don't have the mobility or the strength to do it. So Daniel, what I'm going to have you do is I want you to come down and just hold this position at the bottom. So you're just going to hold that lunge position. What this does is it allows me, if he can't mobilize with a lunge, we're going to start right here. We start static and go to mobile. If he can do this for 30 seconds on each leg, that tells me he's strong enough. The next step, if he can do it, I'm going to have him come up straight up and down, just like that. A split squat, one of the underused but very effective exercises in the weight room. Once he does this well, the split squat, then we're going to go into a walking lunge. Just going step, up, and down, step down. Here, nice big step. Steps down, good. And then he walks with it. So we develop that strength. I don't just take him into the weight room and say, okay, this is a lunge, do it, and he does it poorly. We work up, because the weight room helps with strength. The weight room is not strength unto itself. So the point of today, I hope you learned a lot, but when you're working with young athletes, don't be too overexcited to get into the weight room and use all the crazy equipment. Start basic. It makes your job as a coach a lot easier when you want to actually teach and when you get to the point where they need that overload. So Daniel, thanks a lot, buddy. He's already had his hour and 15-minute workout, so he's gassed. We'll see you guys later. Train hard, be smart, be humble, be hungry.